So, hello everyone. Let's see here. I hope you can hear me, and hope you can hear Linda too. So, yep,
Hello, everybody.
yep. So it will be Linda will work in 3D, and she's working on. Oh, you got the exposure right now. It looks awesome. Yeah,
Imagine what you can do when you actually learn how to use exposure.
yep. And hi Phantom. Yep. So, and I will work on a map of a place I call Syrian Keep. That will be the centerpiece of the virtual Greyhawk on my adventure. So I will not work on large area maps. It will be encounter maps today. So we work small scale and stuff. So I will sit and doodle in Photoshop. So let me just show a little bit where in the world we are, so to speak. So I'm going to see if I can find some stuff here and kind of show where we're going here. So yep. Let me just find. There's so many maps, folders, and stuff to go out. There we go. And I need to have campaign map, and here we go. So and of course when you're streaming it takes forever to open something, so I'm going to put that aside. And oh, here we go. And so I'm going to.
I promise I won't look while you're working.
It's okay. This is no
'Cause-
secret. You know about it. You've been there.
okay.
Yeah, you
Because
are
I
there
know it's part of
already.
our campaign stuff. So,
Yeah. So it's actually the place I'm going to do is right here. It's the Syrian Keep here. So we're in the Shield Lands, in the southern Shield Lands. We're in the
mhm.
Syrian Hills, and there's the Syrian Keep. So that is
Nice,
the
nice.
Syrian Keep. That's the area I'm going to map today, so to speak. So we have. So I have the. I can probably open the area map here. So we have the Syrian Keep. So here is the. I'm going to open the large area map. So here is the overview of the surrounding areas, the next couple of miles. So I've taken this map. So this is the area. So it's two rivers that comes out from each
Mhm.
valley, and it's situated on a small hill between them here.
Nice. I love that style of mapping. Like I was telling you last night, it is definitely a good thing.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, Quantum Weasel. We'll see if we can get some Discord invites here. Hang on a second. Invite people. So let's see here. So here we go. So I'm going to put an invite. There you go. That should work, so to speak. And I'll keep a little lookout here and see. So yep. So I've taken this map of town, and then I've blown it up to this map here. It's 10 pixels per 5 feet. My overall map of Southern Shield land that I'm working on, it's 1 pixel per 5 feet. And here I've gone to 10 pixel per 5 feet. So the overview map of Southern Shield land is 1 pixel per 5 feet. Is great for overland travel if you want to travel 5 miles or 10 miles from one town to the next. Then that is scale. If you just want to have the overview and have the characters traveling about town, then 10 pixels per 5 feet is good, because you get a good view of where trees are, where buildings and stuff. And then I've doubled it, so here it's 20 pixels per 5 feet. And this is the I've taken every each floor of each building will be detailed, so to speak. So here I have the ground level. So here I have the outside view, and then I'm starting to work on the ground level of each building, and then I will add each level up and down will be separate, so to speak. So yep, in separate folders here in Photoshop. And
That's the biggest thing I find when you're working on projects that are big, like the you and I both like to do, is managing your folders is
yeah,
essential.
especially on stuff like this, is the map is not big, but it will have tons of layers. It will be like 50 or 60 layers when it's done. So that means
Hmm.
in order to organize, and not only organize, but you can turn multiple number of layers on and off, so you can know which one you're working on, so to speak. So here I have ground levels. I'm actually right now working on the bottom of the base level of the keep. So the
Mm.
keep here is you have the entry here, and you have to go around the building, and then the into the building itself here. So I'm working on the defenses and the general layout of. There will be a basement level and stuff under here, probably several basement levels, but right now I'm actually working things out here. So here is the stairs leading up, so I'm going to put in sketch in a wall here. There we go. So I'm just sketching out the general wall. In the middle I will leave a fair bit of sturdy wall here to keep, because there's a lot of thousands of tons of stuff on top. So they didn't hollow out everything here, and so this is half dug into the hills. This side here, it's actually dug into the hill, and this part here is built up from the ground, so to speak. So that's a good question, Gribbly. The fort, this was, I assume this was built in stages. So originally it was actually this part here. This is the original keep, this bit here, and it had an original entry here, and that was, and then they had this part here was built in, and oh yeah, I can do this. Is the roofs what it looked like? So originally it was this bit here, and it was actually a tower here that they tore down every so. Hi Jim, welcome. And then when they built this much bigger part, probably 100 or so years afterwards, then this this bit here got repurposed, and so they closed the entry. They built a new entry in the back that was more defensible, because you can attack this part from three sides, so to speak, and this got turned into storage or whatever. But they kept the original. I'm going to open up this bit here, so they kept the original, that was the defensive structure in here. They kept that, and they kind of uh, put full of stones and stuff here, and put masonry in here, and then there are arrow slits and stuff here as a way of covering the courtyard here. So that's the thing, and it's, this is not ready yet, so it's in the making. But I'm going to open up here, so I'm going to delete these parts here.
And this is where again in Greyhawk?
Syrian Keep in Shieldlands. Yep,
Shieldlands. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
next to outside the caves. It's only like 2 miles away from the caves.
Oh, where we're getting our butts kicked?
Yeah, you've seen it. You stood up on the hills. You've seen the keep
Yep, yep. I
already.
remember it now.
Yep.
Let's see.
So you guys have already seen it. So there we go. And I've learned the hard way to always protect the layers I'm not working on. So I turn on the hard lock, because otherwise there's always a chance that I draw on the wrong layer. So that means that it's a little bit tedious and fiddly to open up and close up, but it over time it actually pays off to do it. So now now I have the long corridor there. So yep. Nope, Jim, there's no real world model for this. This is just, I've taken inspiration from a lot of castles and stuff I've seen over the years, and some of the ideas for how to build defensive things. And then I just started building something that makes sense from the terrain, so to speak. Gribbly asks if I kick the party's butt a lot, and I think I do, so yeah.
Put it this way, my character died the first episode in 2 hits
You
from
almost died.
it was a shadow shadow skeleton, was
Yeah,
it?
you
I don't remember
almost
anymore.
died. You almost died. You didn't die.
Well,
We haven't had
by
any hard deaths yet. Yeah.
by strict 5e rules, I should have been
Oh yeah,
obliterated.
you should have. Yeah. Yeah, but
But yeah,
I was a bit soft back then, so I've hardened up a bit. Yeah.
yeah. If you guys play in one of Anna's games, be prepared. You will go down a lot.
Running is always a good option. Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
So now I need to figure things out. So I probably want to have a large. This area here is. I want to have it both as a storage room and also as an area to stage troops and stuff. So I'm just gonna add some pillars here. And this area down here is not perfect in the sense that it's not built to impress. It's just built to be useful, so to speak. So it's built for utility rather than to be impressive or luxurious or any of that stuff. So I'm actually going to extend this. This is designing as I'm mapping here. And the idea is to have this area, and then you have further storage in here, and then I want to have an area for a prison down here. So I want to have prison cells and that you can choose, and an extra guard room. So this area here is the guard room, because then the guards can be they can guard both the gates. They can guard this part in here. That will also be guard area. They will guard the stairs up, and they have easy access to both the act as the prison guards, and they have easy access to everything else. So they're in the center of the room, so to speak. So they have a couple of different. So here is the room where they will be on alert, and then they will have a room where they can sleep and stuff in the back here. So I'm going to add I'm going to build this all the way up to about here, I think.
Yeah, Gribbly, situational danger. Yes, that is Anna's campaign. You have situational danger everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes it much more gritty and real and a lot of fun to play in.
Oh, wonderful. Yep, so glad to hear that.
Frustrating, but very fun.
And also my plots and stuff take a long time to build. They don't happen overnight, so to speak.
Yeah, yep. It's taken us, what,
35 sessions or something like
35
that?
sessions to get
Yep.
where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it's only 2 weeks of time has passed?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Mm-hmm. I think we're about 11 days into the campaign now, so yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So this is all Photoshop work that I'm doing, and I'm using the real measurements from the world map, so to speak. So it's enlarged, so everything has real dimensions from the world, so to speak. So no, 35 sessions in 2 weeks time. It's little over 10 days in. I think we're on the 11th day of the campaign time.
Mm-hmm. But 35 real world sessions.
Yeah, in a year and a half or something like that, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit less than 2 years.
Yeah, Anna likes to torture at very slow pace.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm not familiar with AD&D healing rules, so Anna, do you know what they are?
Well, back in the day, there were that if you got healing and didn't have magical healing, it took days to heal and weeks at times. So
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
but you've had fair bit of magical healing so far, so you haven't worried. But there will be. I don't. I haven't gone into detail. I want to have it like as long as you stay on plus, you heal overnight, so to speak. It's when you get into the minus and you get into breaking bones and stuff. That's when you done death saves. Then you need magic healing. Otherwise, it will take time to heal. So yeah.
Mm, wow. That is crazy.
Yeah, back then it was like you needed a month to recover. So that's why we always had like other characters on standby in case the your first characters were kind of injured and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played AD&D before. I mean, I've played a couple with Carlos in his campaign games or his
Yeah.
convention games, but
But
that was first edition. So
and often a lot of stuff were more like mission based campaigns. So you played and you started in safe haven, you went out and did a mission and confronted evil, and then you go back home again and you healed up, and then when you were healed up you went on a new. I've just kept the story going, and you've been in trouble basically since day one. So yeah.
yeah, we got attacked on day one and got stuck in a tower surrounded by what, thousands of undead, did you say?
Oh,
It
hundreds at
was?
least, a few hundred. Yeah.
Hundreds, yeah, yeah. So we were having fun.
Yep. But you also started behind enemy lines, so there were no real safe haven even from the start. So yeah.
Yep, yep. Okay, there, I got a little bit of depression, so it looks like there's a pathway they've walked in their yard or in their village. That's what I'm doing, guys, is trying to make it so it looks like they've actually traveled these paths a little more instead of just flat land everywhere. And in case anybody's interested, this is the village of Nargenstal from the Raven's Call for Kobold Press. I met Wolfgang through Anna a long time ago at GaryCon, and he asked if I knew how to do any 3D, and I said, I can try. And my first attempt was garbage. This attempt is going much, much better because my first attempt was done in Blender only. And Blender at that time was very, very hard to work with. And I'm finding Unreal Engine much, much better to work with. Much easier to sculpt, and especially 5.0. That's really come a long ways. Okay, bring this up a little bit.
Cool. Yep. Yeah, you really getting somewhere. It looks. Oh, you're painting terrain now, stuff.
I am sculpting at the moment, but yes, I will be
Okay.
painting more. And then I need to build, finish my longhouse that I have the white placeholder for.
Yeah.
I need to finish that because I have some edits I need to do with it. And then I need to build a farmer's hut or a shepherd's hut. And that I do on a different level.
Yeah.
So I don't mess up this one. And then I'm ready to start working on foliage, or foliage, whatever it is, and making it look like somebody actually lives here. Giving the land a little bit of shape here, and so it's not completely flat. And I'm self-taught. I've never went to school for any of this stuff, so.
Same here. I'm also self-taught. This is all coming from trial and error, so to speak.
Yep. YouTube has been a great boon. That and Unreal Engine's online classes they have available. If you have the patience to sit down and figure out this stuff, you can really go to town with it and have a lot of fun. Oh, looks better. And keep in mind, I'll have grass and everything else in here too. That'll make it look a lot better than it does now. I'm just checking things out a little bit. And I have a burned out house that'll go in here that I haven't sculpted yet. Okay, now save that.
Yeah, I'm just painting up and getting up the. I will clean this up in a little bit. I just need to get enough of the stuff. So here we go. So I'm thinking about this being the area to keep prisoners and stuff, and this area here will be to inspect prisoners and to torture them if need be. But depending on this castle or keep has had several owners over the time, so to speak. It was built in probably the early 200s, the first keep, when the Erdians came here and they wanted to control the hills. So they found this location and they started building the keep. And then as Shield got more structured and founded, it grew and it became home of one of the barons here, and he kept it for hundreds of years, and it was on and off, and there were different owners and stuff, and it had a more kind of and then it was and taken over by Halmardr the Cruel for a bit, and he had it for was it like 30 years, and he did things with it and tweak.
Did
Yes,
I answer your
Quantum Weasel.
question?
Yes,
Sorry.
yeah, Quantum Weasel. It is, and but you should also, if you connect Patreon to Discord, you should automatically get signed in there. But if it doesn't work, I'll just yeah, whisper me the your Discord handle, and I'll make sure you get assigned to the right group and stuff. So yep. And thank you so much for signing up to and helping me out, and it will be a lot of fun to work together and stuff.
Yeah, I hope our chats will help out a lot.
Hmm.
And, I love talking with Anna, so
Yep.
we can babble for hours when it comes up with,
Yeah, we sit and do this even without streaming often, so to speak. So yeah.
yep.
So yeah. So these are this is the prison area, so to speak. But they might have been stables back in the early days too. So we never know. I'll think about it. But I was thinking this area here will be stable. So you'll bring in the horses and wagons and stuff here and have it. So I'm probably going to make this area here on the right for horses and stuff, and then wagons to keep them easy to go in and out, so to speak. There will also be other areas here for visitors that are not bringing. That's a good question. If my ideas for are Germanic to some degree, but I'm also seeing a lot of forts and stuff in the Mediterranean area. So some of them have been Spanish, French, Old Greek, Romans, forts and fortifications from various ages and from various cultures and stuff. So it's a bit of a mishmash. I'm not so much which culture it comes from, it's more like what kind of threats. Meaning, what are the materials and what the terrain looks like, what are the resources of the ones building it, how old is it, and what kind of threats, what do they have to protect themselves against. Those are my main, and then try to come up with some cultural things, but I'm still in the early days. I'm not haven't done that many maps like this before, so I'm still learning as they go here, so to speak. So yeah, because I think a lot of real world castle building and fortification building was very much a practical sense, so to speak. It was how much was your budget, what material did you have access to, how much labor did you have, and what was your time to build it, and what kind of things, what enemies do you want to defend against. And then it was, of course, the skill and knowledge and tradition over time, so to speak. They of course they played a role, but in some ways I think a lot of the culture might have been a little bit overstated, because it's really, when it comes down to it, it's the actual practical application of material and skills and time and so on. So yeah, and now I need to start opening up for doors here. So there we go. Now I'm going to, maybe I'll skip the, no, I probably need to have this for support, because open up this, and I keep the walls intentionally thick here, mainly because they need to carry the weight of the whole thing on top, so to speak. So, and they are kind of half hollowed out and half, some of it is built up. So it depends a bit. So I keep the so now I'm going to open up here as well. There we go. Now I just need to view the grid, so I can just The grid, it's roughly the grid comes on top. That's, I just wanted to make sure. I don't need it now. I just double check at times. Yeah, the North Province is one of these areas that I definitely have turned out to be a region, so to speak. Okay.
My roof is not cooperating tonight.
Okay. Are you building the top or no? Are you
I'm
tweaking the
trying to
sides?
straighten the cracks and stuff that are showing, like in the
Uh-huh.
center here, you can see
Yeah.
cracks and things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I overdid it on this other side, so I need to fix it.
Okay.
So it's unfortunately the snapping that everybody says is so fantastic in Unreal Engine hasn't been imported properly into 5 yet. So, and I'm horrible at snapping things.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is painstaking little changes like this. So, but it's one of those things you got to learn to deal with when you're
Mm-hmm.
working with 3D.
Yep. Now I'm going to darken up the.
And I just just installed a new plugin for Unreal where I could take my Blender models and go directly into Unreal Engine. I don't have to do an export and everything. It's just a pipeline that automatically goes into Unreal Engine for
That
me.
sounds very
So
convenient. Yep.
that'll make life a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. I need to.
Roof lines are the worst thing to work on in 3D, unless you sculpt them yourself.
So I'm just gonna. And I want to keep a little bit of that organic feel here, and a little bit of it is straight and kind of well planned out, executed walls, and some of it is almost like cave-like a bit. So because it is a, this is built over time by with limited resources and kind of so and so quality. So when we get up to the upper floors that are more representative and stuff, that's when a lot of the effort in making it beautiful and pretty and stuff. I think,
Anytime,
yeah.
anytime I have questions on anything medieval, I go, Anna, what is this? Anna, what is that? And she knows everything I could possibly, find on Google. You probably know already. So
Nah, but I try to
you come up with
stay.
some good stuff though that I'm just like, oh, okay. I guess I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll just be quiet now. Thanks.
It's just have to think about what technique did they have and what were their goals, so to speak, and purpose of
Hmm.
things. Yeah. And now I learned the hard way to always lock the layers here that I don't work on, because otherwise I've started to paint on the wrong layer and figure that out half an hour afterwards, and
Yeah.
I don't like that one bit. So that therefore I do the extra work on and there was a little bit. Now I need to lock that again and go in here and change to my texture painter and go in. There we go. Now this, okay, I need to go in here and add here. So there we go. Now I'm going to save again here. Let's see. We don't have any missing frames or dropped
That's
frames,
good.
so that's good. Yep.
I was having trouble with my internet connection earlier. Dropbox was trying to take all my bandwidth. It's like, leave it
That's
alone.
that's a good idea. I should pause my Dropbox sync. Thank you for reminding me about that.
Well, I was struggling. I actually had I was on a stream with a guy named Nick the Hick
Yeah.
doing Farm Sim.
Mm-hmm.
And I was struggling because I kept rubber banding. And I was like, why am I rubber banding so bad?
Yep.
So restarted my router and everything. And then I happened to look and went, oh, Dropbox is running.
Yep.
Doggone you.
Mm-hmm.
Leave my stream alone.
Yep. Good. That's been part of my pre-stream checklist, but I forgot about that now. So
Yep.
okay. So now I have the rough outline of this level. No, hang on a second. We have, and there's some doors and stuff in here that I'm going to paint in. And there's some arrow slits here. They're double doors. There is a bar, or like a or what you call these, the gate where you just have bars. Barbican or
The
whatever it's called in
Barbican
English.
is one of the terms, but it is also called a portcullis.
Portcullis, thank you. That was the word I
Hmm.
was looking for. Yep.
I had to stretch there for a minute. I
Hmm.
was like, I know what it's called, but
Yep.
I can't think of the word.
So now I need to do a little bit of shading here. So I'm not going to change the opacity down to about 12%. Just to a little bit of shading here on the stairs, just to get them a little bit soft here. And
All right. Hopefully, I don't have to redo this roof like 6 times. Normally, that's what ends up doing.
yep, there we
Sit
go.
here, tweak things, and it's like, okay, I got to take a break because I need to
Hmm.
fix the rest of this
Yep.
now.
So now I have the basis of this. So let's see, what kind of buildings do I want to... I want to tweak this one. This is going to be... Oh, hang on a second here. Now I need to put my Wacom away, and here we go. So this is up here at the... Let's zoom out here. So this is the northern river here. And if I take away... This is the building. There's a little fortification tower here on the north side of the bridge. And then there's a little bit of other buildings here and so on. But this part here is a mill. So there's like a water wheel down in the river here, and it's a mill and a little bit of storage house and stuff like that for the equipment for the mill. And then there's some people who live in these small huts that are dug into the slope, because there is a slope up to the keep. This is far from flat. So I just did a quick outline here, and I probably need to tweak it. So let's see what we can make, and see if we can make this into a mill. And so now I'm going to save here again, and go in here and open up and close that one. And I'm going to then it's time to take the dungeon floor and boost that up to 100 and 100, and then just go in here and paint that away. So now I need to go in here and take the color part here and take the clone stamp tool and current layer and below. So I'm just gonna start painting in river, because the roof is actually built on top of the wheel. That's what I'm... So when you see this, the river goes actually under, so the wheel is built into the river here. So they've channeled it in. So there now we have that bit here. So now I'm going to lock that layer again and go in here, and now it's time to see if we can... there we go. And now
Just listening to you talk, Anna, is amazing because I can visualize this entire village that you're building.
Thank you.
It's like they live in this little corner and this is over here. Kind
Yeah.
of like the little happy little tree thing from Bob Ross. Like,
Yeah,
you can actually visualize what he's talking about.
Thank you. Yeah, this is fun. This is fun. I love to do stuff like this, and I normally I work in large scale, so in a way I love to go into gritty details and start doing encounter maps and stuff. It's kind of I haven't done that many. I've only done a few for my own stuff before, so to speak. So now I need to... I'm just gonna keep an opening here. I should probably have a little... no, it's not navigable. This maybe with a canoe or a little rowboat. It's like 10-15 feet across, and maybe like 10 feet deep or something. So you could probably take a canoe or a kayak or a little rowboat. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't call it navigable, no. But you probably have to swim a few strokes to get across it. And you could probably find a few fish in there if you really are determined. So it will be one of these small ones you will go fly fishing in the real world, but not much more than that. And now I need to uh, bring out the now I'm thinking here. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put a wheel on the outside here and sketch it out. And now I'm going to do swatches here, so I'm going to change to the I'm just gonna put the make it wooden wheel here, and just gonna paint a wooden wheel like that. And now I'm just gonna take black, and now I'm just gonna
Okay.
put some,
Oops, wrong one.
and my mapping style here is not supposed to be super photoreal. It's just supposed to convey the basics, so to speak. That's the it's mapping style more for theater of the mind play than to actually have super detailed photoreal whatever. So that's not the key here.
Mhm.
It's quick and dirty because I need to make a whole village in 10 hours. That's a whole town in 10 hours. That's the goal.
I wish I could work that quickly in 3D.
Well,
Doesn't work that way though.
yeah, wait for the future stuff. So yeah. Right now it's not. Right now it's taken over by IUs.
Let's see, smokehouse drying racks.
Hi Troy, welcome. Yep. So I'm working on encounter maps, and Linda here is working on 3D stuff for some. She's mapping a village in 3D. In
Right now, I'm
Unreal.
trying to figure out which buildings I need to make, because
Yeah.
I don't remember what I have done. I need to do the burned one. That's going to take some sculpting though in Blender, so I might
Yeah.
not do that tonight. So I'll maybe make the little shepherd's hut over here. Let's see.
So here I'm just making it quick here. So now I'm putting together some cog wheels and some cogs and some mechanism, and so and so that's the actual millstone and the actual mill thing here, so to speak. So that is the this stuff here, and then I can make some fence post here, just keeping the roof up because there are like wooden ones, and then I just make add up a little bit here. Then I put 2 of them in here. Fill in with some wood. There we go. And I'll put the door in. I should probably put 1 door here for the magazine, so you can. So I'm going to here put a hole in the wall here. There we go. Now I'm going to go and use pattern, and I'm going to switch to this pattern, put in the color, and then just paint over the stuff in here. So there we go. It's like a 10-foot 2 squares wide door, so you can take a whole horse and wagon in here if you need to. And this is also kind of closed off, so I'm going to make a gate thing here, and that means that I want to have an exit there, or maybe in here. We'll see. I need to do that part. So now I'm going to. I wish I could be, when I'm getting really into this, I want to get to the level that I can do all of the ones, but I'm going back and forth because I'm designing as I'm drawing. I don't have a master plan or all the details sketched out. This is sketch and end result in one go.
It's design as you go, kind of like
Yeah.
I like doing.
Yep. And I love to do it this way because it's kind of it's kind of fun and just go with the flow here. So I'm just gonna.
And in 3D, my basic workflow is the map I had on the screen just a minute ago, and then I'll go through the module and pick out details like this house is such and such, this yard is such and such. I'll make all that into a Word document, which I have in Arkansas, my Word document that I have full. And then once that opens, it gives me details. I'll have the different maps and things that I can go from. And then if it's something that I want to do specific that is like a certain temple or something like that, I'll use the battle map and go from the flat battle map. I'll lay out the points that make the buildings, then I'll do what they call an extrude and bring it up into full 3D. I've done that a couple times with different things for Wolfgang and totally wetted his whistle for things, but I haven't finished any of them yet, so I'm sure he's probably frustrated with me on that part of it. But you got to be in the mood to work on stuff, and some days I'm just not in the mood to work on items within 3D. It's just you got to be in the right mood. So, because this program can be frustrating at best if you're not, what do you want to call it? If you're not schooled in it, it can be frustrating trying to figure out some of the stuff.
Yeah, that generally goes with programs like this where there's Photoshop 3D, 2D, or graphics. It's like learning a new language in a way. In the beginning, you just feel frustrated, and then as you get over some of the threshold, things starts working out better and better, and then you get more and more into it. And after a while, sometimes a long while, then you start making and it starts becoming fun and awesome. So yeah.
And I have to say publicly that thank you, Anna, because you're the one who got me started in 3D.
Okay.
You just said, try Blender. It's a cool program. I've never used it, but try it. And from there, I just kind of went on my own and figured it out and kept bugging you, like, what does this look like? What does that look like? How do I do this? You're like, I don't know. But yeah, if it wasn't for you and another friend of mine, I would have never met you. And then once I met you, you introduced me to Wolfgang, and now I have a job working in the RPG industry, working freelance for Kobold. So yeah, I couldn't be happier. So
it's awesome fun. Yep. So now
I get to chat with the coolest people in the world. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So now I'm going to put in the portcullis and so I make a portcullis, and we have a door and a portcullis, and these are open from the top view, and here are the stairs up on this side here. So I need to do some steps there. So there we go.
Whoa!
So there are some steps there. Narrows goes up to the second floor, that is over here, so to speak. So I should probably do the. I should probably go in here and there we go, and extend the stairs inside the wall here, so about that far. There we go. And that was not that good, so I need to clean that up a bit. There we go. And I need to I need to take this one down to 1 and just there we go. So I hope people can still hear us, because I haven't had any comments in chat for a bit, so I hope they can still hear and see us.
I think they're just, I'm going to guess they're mesmerized. That's my guess.
Either that or bored to death.
Yeah, well, we'll find out.
That's awesome. Thank you. Good. Yep.
I just hope my content isn't boring and I don't, speak out of turn, because like I said, Anna and I are really good friends, and it's just a lot of work to get some of this stuff to work right. So you might hear me go underneath my breath.
Oh yeah, so. we always have to things. I'm doing the easy bit tonight, so I have the this is not that hard. It's tedious and a lot of nitpicky little work, nitpicky things, but it's not difficult by any means. This is just just
Oh.
things to do that needs to be done. So now I'm saving again, just in case. You never know. Power might run out. We have a storm here, so if we disappear, it's because we have started. It rains in Southern California, and the temperature went from 100 to 80 degrees in like an hour, and the wind is coming, and we have severe storm warnings. So we'll see.
Hmm. And
Thank you, Moose, and welcome.
and where I am, I'm 58 degrees, I think, tonight.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And going to be gorgeous day again tomorrow. It's getting to be fall though, so we have winter coming. But
Yep.
other than that, I really wouldn't change much for where I live. So,
That's good.
which
Yep.
is upper Midwest. I'm not going to say anything more than that, but upper Midwest.
Yep. Well, here's nice, except the summer, late August, early September is usually too hot, but the rest of the year is fantastic.
Hmm.
Okay, so now
Oh,
we have the basics of this building here. I think I'm just gonna leave the mill open at the bottom floor here. So I'm going to paint in things like chairs and tables and stuff, but I add that too. So now it's just the basic structure of the building, because I might want to go back and do a different version of this in if my campaign continues for 5 years and all of a sudden it's 10 years later and the thing is burned to the ground, or something. You never know. That might happen on when we game here on Virtual Greyhawk. The whole thing might be torn down by dragons, demons, or burned to, or sent to abyss. We'll see. And that means that I want to have the structure and the interior on separate, so I can delete the interior, keep the structure, or vice versa, or whatever. So I want to have it separate, so I can tore down things as needed, so to speak. So that's why I want to do the very basics first.
well, considering you're sending all kind of abyssal stuff at us in the campaign,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
it's probably going
IU's
to be
is
gone into
working
the
hard
abyss.
to you on. IU's put an APB on you guys, so he's
Ugh,
trying to. Yeah.
don't. No, 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 no. We don't want an APB.
So yeah. So IU's is kind of, he doesn't like you guys, or maybe he likes you a lot and want to get to you.
Well, my character's going to thumb her nose at him and say, "Come on, bring it." Even though I'm probably going to get killed, but hey, gotta live dangerously now and
Yeah.
then.
So there we go.
All
I'm going
right.
to put in a door there.
I really have no idea how big to make this shepherd's hut. Oh well, we'll just play with it and see what we can figure out.
Must be a diplomatic solution, of course. IU's will of course suggest a diplomatic solution. So he
A
will.
diplomatic solution of you're dead.
Hmm. Well, if you do as I say, we don't no you don't need to worry, so to speak, or there will be no need for violence as long as you roll over dead or something similar. So yeah.
Oh, dang it. I gotta get this under control here.
So there we have an opening in there. So now I'm just gonna I'm going to.
And in case any of you guys are interested, all the pieces I'm playing with are from packs that have been given away by Epic Games. Every month they give away a roughly $250 worth of blueprints of different building packs or game packs, or how to make this game, how to make that game. I've been collecting for over 3 years now, ever since I started working with Anna and talking with Anna. Um, and I'm using somebody else's models right now. I didn't model any of this except for the tower you saw on the original level I was working on. But it's a lot of fun playing with digital Legos, is what I call them,
Yeah.
because you never know what you're going to come up with.
Mm-hmm.
And you can put them together in any combination you want. I can change textures on them. Like if I want to make um, this a different texture, all I have to do is find my texture, which has already been made into a material. And let's say I may want to make this little section here wood. All I have to do is drag it on there and it's wood. So
Cool.
it's really freaking nice.
Yep.
But the tricky thing is, um, when I do this, I can actually open up the material that is made up, and I'll show you how that looks in actual graph format. This is not my material. Somebody else made this one, but it can get really complex or it can get really, really simple. This one is actually a fairly complex one where I can control the tint and everything of the colors. I control size, I control the bumpiness, the shininess, everything all inside from this. But um, when you start working with that kind of stuff, you can really um, have a lot of fun or you can have a lot of frustration. So,
Hmm.
and there, now I'm
Yep.
back to where I was. But it's one of those things that it takes a lot to learn, but once you learn it, it's like, oh, I can do that, not a problem.
Yep.
So anybody that wants to get into 3D, watch YouTube. YouTube's the best thing ever.
Yep.
And a guy named Unreal Sensei is the guy I learned a lot of this from. He takes you through how to run Unreal Engine from this is how you start the engine, this is how you download it, this is how you install it, everything. And
Hmm.
he does have um, paid videos and things you can pay for. I have not paid for a single episode in any of these guys' stuff. Um, but it's just a lot of trial and error once you get going. Once you kind of understand the concepts of 3D and how things are laid out and how you can model and all that stuff, then you can really start having fun with it. And that's what stage where I'm at now. And I've puddled with it for over 3 years now. So, but
Cool.
I had to take a break because I burned myself out. I tried too hard and then
Oh
I
yeah.
was just getting
Hmm.
frustrated and
Yep.
I just said, I'm done.
Yep.
And then
You have to.
I took 6 or 8 months off.
Hmm. And now
And then
you're
I just
back.
said, okay, now I'm back and I'm gonna refocus because I tried to do the city of Zobek from Kobold Press, and the city of Zobek is way too huge of a project to even begin
Yeah,
doing
you have
something
to
like
start
this
with
with.
something small and then work your way up.
Hmm.
Yep. Hmm.
Yep. Start with something small and get the basic concepts down, and then try to do the bigger stuff.
Yep.
I still do plan on doing as many of the things as I can, and probably doing Greyhawk stuff too here in the future, but um, it's going to take some work for me to get used to Greyhawk again. It was my first love, and it's always going to be my first love, but I've been working so much in Kobold Press and Midgard that it's hard to get the switch back over
Hmm.
to working in Greyhawk again.
Yep. Well, we had
But
good question. Do we ever want to make ship deck plans? And if I get a nautical campaign, I will definitely dig into making ships. But right now, I don't need them. But it's something I definitely want to have in the future as a possible. As soon as my campaign needs are making,
ship
yeah,
deck plans are something I've never messed with.
yeah,
I'm an absolute fanatic over ships and the big sailing ships and things like that, the sloops and
yeah.
the galleons and all those. But they take a lot of advanced modeling, and I'm not that good
Ah,
yet.
that's true. Yeah, it's a lot of
So
rounded shapes and stuff that are.
there's a lot of custom modeling to do.
Hmm.
And Unreal Engine actually has a lot of packs that are on their marketplace that you can buy for like $30, and it gives you all the assets you need to create a 3D ship.
Hmm.
So my theory is if it already exists and I can pay $30 and get like 100 pieces to build ships out of, why model it?
Yeah.
So that's the situation I'm in right now.
Hmm.
And that's what I struggled with a lot getting started in this is why am I spending so many hours modeling houses and stuff and individual pieces like these roof slants and the pilasters and all these different things? Why am I wasting all my time doing that when the packs already exist?
Yeah.
As long as they're a um, a non-commercial license, or if you get permission to use them in a commercial setting, you're set to go.
Hmm.
You have
Yeah.
literally millions of pieces you can build from. So, um, buttresses are you and are you doing buttresses or me? I'm not sure
I
which one
think
that
you
is.
were doing buttresses, and I worked on the small and one of the things here I keep the windows or very small here, and that's for two reasons. First of all, they built it, they were poor, so to speak, so they didn't have enough to for big glass or anything like that, so they had small openings that you can just put like some wooden net and shutter it. The other one is for defensive purposes. They are more arrow slits than big windows, so they don't want people to be able enemies to be able to climb in and stuff, and they want to have an easy access to peek out, and also for structural reasons, meaning that their buildings were probably so rickety in some ways that you couldn't have big openings, and that might fall apart, so to speak. So they were probably have to be built with uh, kind of not modern day principles of engineering and stuff. So this
Hmm.
house here, I imagine this is one of the old farmsteads that was built back when the keep was very young, and it's been sitting here, and it was originally built as a fortified manor, so to speak, because originally this was a wild frontier area and there was no big refuge, so they built it with a fortified lower floor, and then they built one or two floors on top where they built, and then it's been used for various uses over the years, so to speak. But I'm going to make a fortified bottom wall with
Hmm.
strong thick walls here at the bottom, and
Hmm.
also I have a small door leading in here, and the reason for that is that it's defensive, and then I can make
Hmm.
arrow slits, and I put a heavy gate here, so to speak, so it is
Yep.
make it very defensible. And what they can have, then I'm going to make a set of stairs leading up to the second floor that you can have a door getting, but those stairs are gone by now, so it's kind of disappeared or
Hmm.
something over the years. So yeah.
Just so people can kind of get an idea, this is the Epic Games Launcher that Unreal is part of. Epic Games Launcher is free. Unreal is free. You can do all this stuff. And over the last 3 years, I've collected probably 300 or more free packs, just so you can see. I mean, I've got a ton of them that are all free packs, anywhere from things you can install to the engine to types of foliage, types of swords. You can do temples, you can do Atlantis, you can do all these things that people have made stuff for and they've allowed Epic to give away. So just showing that to people so they can see, what kind of stuff you can get for free. So it's amazing. As far as I know, I have 155 gigabytes of um, the stuff that is available to me. So I don't even know exactly because it doesn't stay resident on my computer. This is all stored on the Epic servers. And then when I want it, all I have to do is say add to project. Like if I wanted this graveyard pack, add to project, pick which one it's compatible with, and then just say add, and that's when it downloads it. So
Okay.
it does not stay resident on your computer and use up different stuff.
Hmm.
However, you do need a computer that can handle Unreal. Um, it's not something for the faint of heart computer people. I'm running a Ryzen 7 with 32 gigabytes of RAM right now, and I need more because there's sometimes where Unreal says, "Really? You want me to do what?" No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then I have to wait for it to figure out that you have to wait for it to do what you need it to do before it'll do. Especially if I build lighting, that's really when it takes a long time to work.
Yeah. You can
Um,
never have too much memory. That's for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I wish I could afford more right at the moment, but working freelance is not the most well-paying job in the world.
No,
But
I know. Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I would never ever want to go back to a real job again. So, and luckily, my freelance work started before COVID, and then when COVID hit, I lost my job because they downsized because, oh no, we don't have enough business to keep everybody working. So I lost my job and uh, I just said, okay. And I emailed Wolfgang and I just said, hey, just want to let you know I lost my real job. So if you have anything else that you want me to work on, just send it through. So he sent me a bunch of stuff. He says, see what you can do for this. I said, all right. And what I do is I take their PDFs and I make them into the Fantasy Grounds virtual tabletop. I do all the conversions for them. And I think I did 12 or 13 in the first year of COVID that I converted over to Fantasy Grounds and got him ready to go. And then I was able to work with 3D. And then I teased him at GaryCon. I showed him just a rough, god awful um, first sculpt of Nargenstal. It
Hmm.
looked like a brand new modern houses and stuff because I didn't know how to sculpt. And he was like, "Oh my God, when can I have it?" I'm like, "You can't. I don't know what to do with it. I did this and I don't have a clue."
Yep.
So he's a little frustrated, I think, at that part. But we're
Hmm.
hoping to get him back and get that going. And then I want to start working on Greyhawk stuff too, because like I said, Greyhawk and Ravenloft are my two favorites. So
Hmm.
it's just one of those things. It takes time, and
Yep.
with my schedule actually is filling up with streams and building and all this stuff now. So it's fun. A lot of
Yeah.
fun trying to keep everything up in the air.
Hmm.
What am I doing?
Now I
Okay.
need to double check where I have the chimney. Chimney is in the middle. Then I put don't I put the door.
I need that, and I
I put
need
the door.
that.
I put the door here.
And
And these are just, well, little folks that used to
oops,
run the
no.
town that did various things. So you can have like a, I'm going to make one of these a smith. I'm going to make one of these maybe yeah, well, but yeah, the some of the usual that is like a poor farmstead that was here, and some of these are small houses where people that either serve at the keep or just are various the low life, so to speak. These are the poor and stuff. This big house here, it's I thought during the heyday, this was an area where a lot of goat herders and cattle farmers and others, they didn't have a proper farmstead, so they were simply just had a herd of animals, and when there was either the weather got too bad or yeah, there's some farmland, a little bit of farmland down. There's farmland around here, here, and here, and down here, and but most of this was uh, probably cattle of everything from goats, sheep to cows and stuff.
Mhm.
So it was grazers more than people that having various animals, and so a lot of them probably just took their herd and went out in the lands around and let them graze. And when the weather got bad or there were people and other things threatening them, they came back here, and that's what this big house is one of the for it, so to speak, so they can bring in their herds both for slaughter, but also when there was when they were threatened and stuff. So this will be, and this is a two-story building on top of it, so it functioned both to cater for herdsmen and stuff, but also for their cattle and stuff, so they can bring it in to get them counted and marked and slaughtered and just to defend themselves. And these people around here were the ones that helped out and served. They might sell feed, they might smith that put on horseshoes and stuff like that, and they also bought milk and stuff like that, and leather and also, and there is a tannery down here in the south. I'm going to put, I haven't detailed it yet, and building down here, that's going to be a tannery. They put it downstream so they wouldn't have the smell and the stuff up in the village, so
Mhm.
that they put it down there. And so they use this one here more for drinking water and stuff, and this southern branch here, they use it for tannery, so that's for tannery.
One thing I will say about doing 3D and even Anna's Photoshop products, if you can figure out how to use these programs, you're going to enjoy the hell out of them
Mm-hmm. Yep,
because
it's a lot of fun. Yep.
it is a major amount of fun. And then get in with people that love to talk nerdy,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Yep.
Um, if you can get in with a group of people that loves to talk about this stuff and can get you started, you're going to have, well, lifelong friends.
Yep. So here I'm going to put in
Let's see. There we go.
the there we
All
go.
right.
That's the fireplace.
And by the way, thank you for the bits. I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm not going to murder it.
Oh,
But
thank
thank you
you,
for the bits.
Angamaran. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yep.
Yep. Mm. Yeah, Gribbly, it's highland pasture. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much, because the ground here is not fertile enough to do a lot of planting grains and stuff. So it's more like it's more for goats, sheeps and grazing. And then they have a little bit of stuff. So they probably grow some carrots and some other stuff that they need. They probably have some apple trees and a little bit of an orchard and some of the other stuff for subsistence, but that's not for selling. But animal products probably for sale. That was the big economy back in the day. And then I use first the back in the day the Halmar the Cruel took over for 30 years. He was the first maniac who took over, and then Horn Society came, and then I use came. So it's been now almost 20 years of neglect and terrible rules, so to speak. So this is more derelict, and a lot of these buildings are probably abandoned or taken over by squatters of some kind, or IUs have organized in a completely different way. But the basic structure of the building should be from the heyday, so to speak, when it was actually a functioning place that a baron ruled over with harsh but fair hands, probably. and he had an economy, and he defended a lot of people who raised their cattle and sheep and whatnot, and made everything from leather to cheese and all sorts of stuff like that. That was what I was surprised of. Hi, Justinius, welcome.
Hey, how you guys doing? Um, oops.
Yeah, and
Just
when I make doors, I make doors. I leave a lot of room on the side of the doors. That's not because there is that much gap in reality. I just want it to stand out from the walls and stuff, so you can actually see the doors properly. So what I usually do is
Mhm.
I paint in the brown bit here like that, and then I just do a quick little black around like that, and then paint over with the brown in the middle. So there we have a door. It looks fairly okay. So when you see it like this at 100% resolution, it kind of works. Yeah, Gribbly, the 598, end of 598. We are like, what is it, like 8 days from New Year's, I think, or something like that, a week, or maybe a little bit less. We are on the Sunseb the 22nd, so we're only like 5 days, 6 days away from something from New Year's. So yeah, or from Needfest.
yeah, that's what my druid is trying to get to because she's hoping the druids can help her out with some information she's seeking. And
Yeah.
I've been patiently waiting for Anna to let me get that information, and she's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Nope, can't have it yet. Nope."
We've been so busy
It's like,
with other stuff
grr.
here. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the demons and abyssal things you can
Well,
possibly throw at us.
yeah, you in Ayu's land here now. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to open a little bit. No, that was. I'm going to close that a bit. There we go.
All right. So, yeah, that's simple. I like simple. That's going to be wider than that, though. Dang it. All right. Come over here.
So let's see, how do I
You.
divide that up? I kind of I put the door there, so I probably do this. So I kind of add an inner wall here. Now all the walls are black. I'm going to mask off and then paint over according to material. In the beginning, I just make all of them black, and then when I have all the walls made and they're on the sketch layer, I can just select and mask off so I can't paint outside of it, and then I just go in and paint them with whatever wall, because some of these walls are stone, some of them are wood, etc., or whatever. So then I can paint the color of the walls according to the material. So I'm going to actually change that up in a little bit here. So yeah. So I'm going to keep this area back here. That will be like the sleeping quarters, because this might be someone who is. Hang on a second. I'm going to open up. I'm going to make a big door here and make this a smith. So I'm just gonna open up here. Yeah, Mystery Cycle wonders if you're building it in Unreal. So yeah.
Yes, I am. Unreal Engine 5.0. So I get to play with the nanite technology and the lumens and all that stuff. I have not run into a situation where I've had to use nanite though, because nanites require, well, help you use millions of tries and
Mm-hmm.
faces. These are very, very simple models that I'm working with, so I don't need nanites. But it's so far I love it. I don't have any complaints about 5 whatsoever. Uh, and I have a gap. Why do I have a gap like that? Let's see. Bring
I'm going
that
to
up.
be a little bit fun. So I'm going to take some blue here, and there we go. And then I'm going to paint some blue in the. There we have a barrel of water next to the smithy, and then he has some. No, I'm just gonna go in here and paint black again. Oh no, that was black. And I'm just gonna, here we have the anvil. I'm just gonna put the anvil like that, and he has some tools and various things here, so I'm just gonna, and there's the a wooden bench or something here, so we have that. There we go, and I'm going to have a door. In here, and here it's private quarters. So I'm just gonna, so there we go. That was a little bit, that was a smithy, and he can have like a, I'm not going to get carried away. I'm going to paint in all that afterwards, so I make sure I do it. So there was it. Let's paint the basic, and let's see here. Now I'm going to save again here so we get.
I don't think that's going to look right.
Yep.
Nope. Doesn't look right. Okay.
Yeah, Tailspire, it looks really cool. So yeah.
Tailspire, I looked at it. It's very impressive for what they've done for it, but it's so limited yet. As it gets into more full-scale production, I think it'll be much better program. But I have been keeping my eye on it.
Yeah, it's early days for 3D tabletops, but there's a whole slew of them coming. I saw 2 new Kickstarters just this last week, so there's plenty of things happening. That's a scene that is, and then Wizard of the Coast is coming out with one next year too. So, or maybe 2024. I'm not really sure if it was next year.
I think it said 2024. It's going to be live.
Yep.
But I know somebody had mentioned Fantasy Grounds is really good. At one time, I did believe that. To be totally honest with you, I don't use Fantasy Grounds anymore other than my job because I find it quite clumsy to use, actually. And that's my opinion, nobody else's. But I find it very clumsy to use because there's so many automation options that I don't need as my style of dungeon mastering. So
same thing. I just switched from Fantasy Grounds to Owlbear Rodeo, and Owlbear Rodeo is a very simple, straightforward to use, and so far it worked out really well.
Like I said, I work with the guys at SmiteWorks daily, trying to work with them. They're a wonderful group of people to work with, but I just don't find a need for Fantasy Grounds right now. So the group I have that plays with me regularly prefers to do the dice and paper. And then I just use a like Owlbear Rodeo, or just project the thing onto a TV and the battle maps onto a TV, and away we go. So it all depends on your style of play. So at one time, I'll put it this way: if I didn't learn Fantasy Grounds at one time, I wouldn't have a job right now. I'd been working for a 9 to 5, hate my job routine. So, but right now I'm able to work up to 40, 50 hours a week, depending on whatever I want to do. But if I want to take a day and work on 3D, I do it.
Yeah.
So as long as I meet their deadlines, they don't have any issue with me doing 3D or having my own channel or streaming or anything like that. So, which is very, very nice to be able to have the freedom to do that kind of thing. Kick that over a little bit.
I'm going to have this as a bakery originally, so that's why they have a much larger fireplace here, so they can bake bread or whatever, and then have it closed off, and so they have some so this in the front is kind of a store. Should I have it that way, or no, I'm kind of torn here, so I'm going to seal it up here, and then I'm going to open it in the back here. There we go. So
quite honestly, I can't wait to get my hands on one of your maps like that, your little detail maps like that, and just do it in 3D.
Yeah,
I'm chomping at the bit for you to say do it. And like, yeah. Just the thought of working on like different things in Greyhawk, or someday I'm going to tease everybody. I'm going to go back to building my Temple of Elemental Evil. I do have it already done in 3D. It's just like I did it 3 years ago when I was learning, so I have a lot of cleanup to do on it. But I do have a temple built, and it's as close as I can make it to canon. So, because there's not a lot of description once you get past the very beginning stuff. So, um, nah, I'm not going to show you. I'll wait till another stream to show you that. I'm going to be mean. Sorry, guys. I want to get a chance to work on it and
Mm-hmm.
bring it into Unreal and actually do some real fine detail work on it before I show anybody.
Yeah.
And I've got a gap right there. Why do I have a gap? Oh, you're sunk in the ground. That's why. Get back there. Oh, I overlapped you. That's the problem.
No, hang on a second. I'm going
Well, let's see.
delete
Can I
that
do
bit here?
that? Bring you down in size a little bit so I don't have to overlap you.
Oh, that was the. There we go. And then painted the wall there. So there we go. Then it's an opening here, and it's
Oops,
like a
just ran into
counter
my wall.
here, and there we go. And now I'm going to remove that.
I'll give myself a virtual concussion, run into my own wall, trying to move my camera around.
Yeah.
End up with a virtual headache.
So there we go. So you can come in through the door and you go up and you can buy bread and stuff like that. And then I'm going to add some shelves here in the background here. And then there's a set of stairs going up to the loft, because there will be a top loft where whoever is doing this probably lived back in the day. There we go. So that was the interior of that. And a lot of people wonder why I'm keeping them small, is that back in the day things weren't that big. These kind of normal little houses, they were just, anyone who's been into real medieval buildings know it's not anywhere near as big as it is today. It's small cramped things that were easy to warm up and cheap to build and stuff like that. So yeah.
And that's one thing, being born in the States, it's very hard for me to visualize a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
I visualize, modern style houses with stone walls and logs and things like that, but that's not it.
Yeah. But palaces and stuff for nobility, they had huge chambers just to show off that were useless except to impress people and so on.
Yep.
So there you had things that were on a different scale. They were enormous, but poor people lived in huts basically.
Mm-hmm.
And really, yeah.
Through you and my buddy Chaz, and I've been learning a lot about different fortresses and the differences between castles and palaces and all this stuff. And it's amazing what you learn when you talk to somebody that was actually born in Europe and actually get people that have studied it telling you what it's all about. So, because you can learn only so much from books before you're like, I don't get it. Oh, why do you have that ridge there? Stop.
And here I need to have some no, that's probably a little bit too. I'm going to close that up. Close that up so we have like one set of doors. And this building, if you look at it like here, you can see that the building goes across, and that means that the top, there's the second floor goes across the road. So and because it's built in slopes, it was kind of easy to build that. And so you have one piece of building here, and then you have up to the slope. So will be an entry here, an entry in there, and then a bigger entry here in. So, and then there will be on the second floor, there will be a big entry up here, so they can take things into. So the bottom floor will be some. So I will probably make the bottom here for some sort of, and so some they can put animals in here and horses and stuff like that. And then this part here will be kind of a little inn, or the bottom floor where you have like a tavern like originally or something. And then at the top floor will be a bigger place where you can hang out. You can basically sleep up there, and it's like a big open barn loft where you can just pay a few silver pieces and back in the day and seek refuge and stuff. And the reason that this doesn't go all the way is that it's built into a hill, so it's built on top of it. So this is partially dug out of the hill, so to speak. and that's why I have this kind of little awkward. I haven't decided the colors of this, but these are just show the dugouts, so to speak. So it's kind of the same thing with these little huts here that are basically just tiny little structures that are just sticking out. The first bit is a house, and the rest is just dug in as a hole into the well. A lot of poor people back in Sweden, even in the 19th century, lived like this. They had a they were back city slope dwellers. If you literally translated, it meant slope hut squatters or something like that. If you there was a special term for these really poor people. Instead of building a real house, they only needed to pay for a little bit of a roof and only a wall and a half, so to speak, and a tiny little door, and then they dug out the rest into the slope. It was both because they were cheap to build, but it was also because they had a tax deduction. They didn't have to pay that much taxes because they didn't have a real dwelling. So it was kind of an old version of mobile homes of today or something like that. But they were not mobile, but they were past. Part of it was they couldn't afford more, and they tried to stay out of the wrath of the powerful, so to speak. So I implemented that here too because there's a slope. So really poor people lived in those back in the days.
And that's really interesting because in the States we had the pioneers, and the
Mm-hmm.
pioneers all had like sod houses and things
Yeah.
like that
Mm-hmm.
they lived in.
Yeah.
Very few of which still exist today because
Oh
they're
yeah.
made of
It's
earth.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, but there's millennial farms and things like that around all over the place that are, or century farms, I'm sorry, wrong term, century farms that were built back in the late 1800s. And, just listening to you and Chaz talk about, ancient history and Rome and all those things, it's like, oh my God, we're like little kids compared to the history you guys have in Europe. It's just
Well, America
amazing,
is
you know.
starting to become middle aged, but a lot of the countries in Europe are not that old as legal entities because they've been formed and reformed and stuff over the years. But a lot of them have an old history. So I think
Hmm.
the oldest country, Denmark and Iceland, or opposite order, yeah, Denmark and Iceland are among the oldest in still standing countries in Europe that are well over 1,000 years old. I think Sweden is on its ninth century now or something like that. So they're over
Hmm.
900 years old in its current incarnation, so to speak. So there are some are old, but a lot of the other ones they have been shaped. Meaning Germany as was united into there was a lot of little city states and stuff, and Prussia and Bavaria and stuff like that were countries up until 100 and something years ago. And
Hmm.
Italy was also not that old as a modern country, but the same cities and stuff and entities have been around for a long time, but they changed shape and name and been organized in different ways over the years. But it's could be really interesting. So you can take a lot of inspiration for your role playing game campaign if you want to mess up
Oh yeah,
politics there.
yeah.
So yep.
Yeah, and that's what things where it's hard for me to build some of these campaigns because, like I said, born in the States, I don't have a clue what, politics were like in medieval times.
Well,
So, what I do know, I've learned from you and my buddy Chaz, so
yep.
or our buddy Chaz.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just fascinating to listen to you guys start talking, even about the United Kingdom right now. I mean, just listening to you guys talk about the history of the
Yeah,
United Kingdom and all that stuff, it's just like, oh my God. So
it's fun. Yep.
when I was starting work on this, I was reading about an earthen palisade, and I was like, I have no idea what an earthen palisade is. So then I hit up Chaz and I said, hey, can you tell me what it is? And he sent me all these pictures, and I said, I don't know if that's it, but okay, I'll try. And then I happened to stumble across it on Facebook. I'm part of an architectural group there, and I stumbled across it, and it was like, is this it? And he goes, absolutely. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just a little thing that I needed it for this sculpt because on the other level, I have the earthen palisade with the palisade walls on top of it. And I had no clue how to build that. I was just, I don't know. I don't know how to build that. So
Yep.
it's just been fascinating to learn all this stuff. All right.
And you're right. Hollywood have shaped a lot of our perception of old times. And
Yep,
now there's
yep.
a movie called Medieval. I'm going to see that one
You
very
were
soon.
telling me about that one. That was looks vicious.
Yes, that
Looks
looks
vicious
it
though.
looks super vicious. It looks terribly vicious. It's just up my alley. Hmm.
Okay, let's see. That looks a little better. And what I love about 3D work, you can scale it, twist it, turn it, whatever way you want to do it. Like this is way too big. So then what I'll do is just go in here and go, I'm going to lock dimensions so I don't lose it and shrink it down. And there I have a properly sized uh, piece for the roof, or almost properly sized. I might have to boost it up to like 0.75 or something, but it's just so much fun to do that. Actually, that doesn't look half bad. Nah, it's a little small. We'll go 0.75. I don't want to get the pieces of thatch too small in regards to the rest of it.
Yeah.
Because then you end up with looking silly. Look, it would look like I made a thatch roof.
Let's see here. Oh yeah. You have kind of pre-made building blocks of thatch, so it's
That's basically what it is, yeah. Yeah. I've taken a couple of these into Blender and looked at them, see how I designed them, and they're just flat planes that are what's called subdivided. Basically, you take the flat shape like this and then cut it into multiple squares so the texture doesn't stretch.
Do you use bump maps, or is it actual vortices and stuff? Is it actual geometry, or is it just bump maps?
It's actual geometry to make the actual pieces.
Yeah.
But then when you do the textures, then you use usually a 1028 or 1024 by 1024 image or a 2048. It's always combinations of those.
Yeah.
If you want really low quality, you can use 256. It's by 256.
Yeah.
But the higher the dimensions and the different things you do, the better your quality is going to be. And you have to do what's called unwrapping of each model.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to cut it and lay it flat. So if you have a really complex model, you have to figure out, okay, how am I going to get the put cuts in this to make it lay completely flat? And some other night I'll do some Blender's work so you guys can see what that's like. But
yeah,
it's a lot of thinking when you get to that point. You can sculpt all these things all you want, but it's just one of those things that you have to learn how to do the unwrapping and the texturing. And I still don't know how to texture worth a dang in Blender, but in Unreal I can do it pretty good. Just for a quick show you, let's see, my materials. I made just a super simple material that I use for the master for everything I do, which is super, super simple. And it does exactly what I need it to do. I can, if I change this to a parameter, this one here, which means I can change it out on the fly, I can do anything I want with it. So I would take all three of these and make them into parameters. That way I can do on the fly changing. And then I have a tint control. And just by adding a little simple thing here, I can do my normal control or my bumpiness control. And a lot of people don't understand what normals are, but I think of it as just bumpiness.
Yeah.
And then you have roughness, which is another layer of bumpiness. It's more the smooth bumpies, in layman's terms, or in whatever terms you want to call them. But then I can control the tint. Like if I wanted these things to be purple, all I'd have to do is open up this, drag it over to purple, and let it catch up with me. And I have purple shingles. But it's just fun to be able to do that kind of stuff. And when I first working on it, it was crazy. And if I wanted metallic shingles, I would just take this, go over here and do, nope, I want to do one. And they have a metallic sheen to them. You can set it to bigger numbers, but it doesn't work as well on this one because he has different normals built in that stop it from being metallic.
Yeah.
So, but that's how simple it is to add metallic or anything to it. But yeah, it's really easy once you get the hang of it, but it's can be as complex or as fancy as you want. So far, I've never found the need for really, really fancy, except for landscaping. Doing landscaping and texturing landscapes is when you need the really heavy duty detailing and customization in it.
Yeah. No, I'm not really sure. Let's do.
And please keep in mind, I am not an expert in this at all. I am probably a layman at best. So, oops. Nope.
brush. I need to go in here and delete
But
this
I'm
here.
so glad you suggested this stream. I'm having a ball.
Oh, that's good. That's great. Yep. And it's so much fun to do it instead of me being by myself here. It's kind of
I
so
love watching
boring.
the ones with you and Alyssa. They're a lot of fun too.
Great. Yeah. We're missing Alyssa today. She was busy with other stuff. So, yeah.
Yep. So now I'm going to take all those, duplicate them by using Control D, and rotate them. And I have my other side of my roof made.
I have a gray here,
Oops,
and I'm going
rotate.
to paint.
Move them
And I
back.
need to turn off the texture and stuff. So, there we go.
And now comes the trick of making them look like they fit. And I don't worry about lining up these jagged edges on the ends here. A lot of times I'll hide them by using pieces of wood or something to cover all those areas up so they don't even show.
So they have a huge fireplace at the bottom here that goes up to the second floor, and then there's the fireplace up there to warm it up and stuff. And then now I need to figure out, they should probably have it here. This is kind of, I need to, that could be the personnel entry, so to speak. So that's not where the customers go in. So that's just
no, don't take that one. I want this one.
So I need to close it off here and just have a door there, and then now I need to.
Yeah. I wish Unreal had screencast keys built into it, but it doesn't, because you guys could see what key bindings I'm using for this. But unfortunately, it doesn't have.
So it doesn't pop up.
Screencast built into it that I'm aware of.
Don't you have like an app that you can have that put it up that?
There is, but I don't know what it is. If someone knows of one, let me know, because I would love to have it when I'm streaming and doing things. Because I get a lot of people asking me, what commands are you using? What are you doing? So, but if someone knows it, please let me know. I didn't do what I wanted to do. Goof. Get over here. Pull that up so the corner's hidden.
That is probably too much. I'm going to. That is way too much. I need to change this idea here. There we go. I'm going to work it across here instead.
All right. Put the door on.
Like that. And then I'm going to do like this. And then have a... and this here is... just going to put... This is basically a counter.
Actually, I want the door to open the other way.
And now I need to make it much smaller, like that, and then just... So here is like you can order food and stuff, and then you have the door going in and out, and then I
don't know if you could... Well, somebody's exploding something outside my house. I'll have to shut my door if it gets too loud.
I heard something just a tiny little bit there.
So, I think it might be fireworks. People were doing Labor Day fireworks, and I think they have a few left over.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Hang on, guys. I'll shut my door here because it's going to make noise.
Valheim. That's an interesting. I never heard of that game before, but that sounds cool. Yeah. There we go, and I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit here.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, so, and now I'm going to...
I have yet to play Valheim. Hopefully I can get to it someday, but I'm so busy with 3D and things like that that I don't have...
I think maybe I've heard of Valheim, but I'm not sure.
It's actually looks like a pretty fun game. I've never tried it though.
Okay.
I'm like currently wrapped up in Scum. That's my favorite one right now.
Yep.
And Farm Sim. Uh,
Yeah, we
yeah,
have
I've heard it's a
stairs.
lot of fun to build.
Yeah.
I heard it can be a grind though for certain parts. Let's
Yeah, we have
see.
messes like we have a 20,000 acre or something fire, a huge one, the biggest in the country right now. It's like 20 miles away from here or something like that. So we get smoke everywhere and stuff. So it's huge.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and we have Canada wildfires that are dumping a lot of smoke in our area too. So,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
um,
But hopefully the rain that we got today and the storm is going to help with the fire. But on the other hand, it might stir it up if they don't get that much rain. So we'll see. But there's some rain have fallen here, and there's still some. It's the first rain we got in 6 months. So yeah, not too bad. Okay, now it's time to save here again. I forgot to do that in a while here. So now I'm actually starting to get some of the first floors done here. So yeah.
and one thing I'll suggest to anybody that starts doing 3D modeling, um, be very, very aware of where you put your origin point, which is this three direction mover. If you don't put it in the right spot, it makes snapping things together so much harder. A lot of people will put it right dead center here.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Please don't do that. Put it on the top corner, put it on bottom corner, put it on one specific spot, and be consistent through the entire thing you do.
Yeah.
It makes life so much easier. You get a lot of people that'll put it dead center because they think center of geometry is the best thing to do. Do not do that. That's one of what I find is a cardinal rule in my world is do not do um, general center of mass as your uh, origin point because it just gives you headaches later on. Always, always, always put it in a logical spot. But again, I'm probably speaking out of turn, but that's something I've discovered in my little bit of stuff I do. Make it easy for yourselves. It's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
Because you can learn all these cool little tricks, but if it doesn't work for you, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the end of the world if you don't use the fanciest plugins, the fanciest methods, all that stuff. If it works for what you're doing, do it. So,
So
and these are too long in my opinion, so we're gonna shorten them up. We're gonna
I'm
go
going to
like
make it
8.
opening here.
That looks a little better. At least the door and the windows aren't
No,
completely
I'm
hidden.
going to skip that one there. Now I'm not really sure about the layout here. This was probably back in the day they had it as a stable and stuff like that. But later on, I wouldn't be surprised if they made it into it was like a watering hole for the locals that were allowed to be inside the walls and stuff. So um, hmm. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that one yet. So I'm going to skip it for a little bit here. Yeah, I'm not really.
One of these days, I'm going to convince you to get me a height map of something, like
Yeah.
highly detailed height
Mm-hmm.
map, and I'm going to do a landscape on it and see what we can
Yeah.
do with it.
Yep.
Just got to get time, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have the little Aldit one that you did on low res, and that makes it hard to do the model on, but I can play with it and see if I can smooth it out a little bit until you get time to do a full export.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll move it up just a hair. There, we have a rough shepherd's hut. All right, now what can I do to make it look better?
Yeah.
I think I know what to do. Let's go down here.
Yeah, I'm putting in more doors in here, so we'll see here. There we go.
I want.
And that is
Where is
definitely
it?
the fireplace down in here.
Plank, plank. No, no, no.
Hang on a second. I'm not sure that is the... Oh, there's a fireplace in the middle, just by the... Okay, so we skip that bit here then. There we go. That will be a bathroom over there, lavatory or some whatever you call it. So I'll need to.
This one I gotta look and see what I used for that. I used small wood pillar inclined.
Make it
2.
Just a fire pit here. So there we go, in the middle, and let's see here. What do we? Same thing here. So this one has a.
That one. Let's hide these ugly roof ends.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
Rotate.
I'm going to make this one different and just say that it's just a.
Change it to world origin.
It's an opening, so we just have like this, and it's actually open on 2 sides, and you can just put the rod through where you barbecue things, so to speak, or you cook it over, roast it over the fire. So it's
a rotisserie.
Yes, exactly. Primitive was just a metal rod through, and you put stuff in there. So yeah, and let's see here. What do we have here? We have one. I'm going to make one here too. Larger one here. So and then I'm just gonna. Yeah, and then so there we go. So, and these in the towers are basically just basements. They can use either for storage to hide things, or they can use them as prison cells too, because there's no escape other than a hatch out, so to speak. So instead of filling them out, they just left the bottom to be used for to hide in. They're also, if you want to hide from someone, it's at least they're defensible, so to speak. Then you can
see what I mean about her being vicious, guys.
Yeah,
talking about jail cells and torture cells.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's like, geez.
Well, that's a very good point, Gribbly. The problem with well is that up here you have to dig deep. So I assume that I'm going to make a well in inside. They probably had a well near the inside the original keep. So I'm going to extend it in here. That is a good. I was thinking about it before, then I forgot about it. That's a great question, Gribbly. I'm very so glad you asked about that. So now I'm going to make a well here just because of it. Yep. And now I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to go in here, and then I'm going to oops, that lock, and go that one. Then remove it here, so and go in, and now I'm going to go here, and now I'm going to paint in a little well here. It's basically just a hole in the ground here, and just to indicate that it is a well, I'm going to put some blue in here. And it was probably dug in or using magic or whatever or something back in the day, and it was in the basement of the original keep. So they had it in one corner. That's probably why they built it. And now they built a wall around on this side. Original wall was on that side, so it was next to the outer wall. But now they've actually made it the other way around, because this have gone from being inside the inside the defenses to now being just inside the third. There's like 4 levels of defenses in. So this is behind 2 of the levels. So that way they want to put it in. Oh, now I need to. That was no. I don't want blue anymore, so I'm going to pick black again, and now I'm just gonna put in like this. So there you have the well, and then I'm just gonna do like this, and then lock it up, go here, unlock that layer, and go here, and basically fill in the wall here. Because that's one of the key points. So if in case of a siege or whatever, you want the source of water to be inside the castle wall and defenses. But the village here, they basically go down here to the river for water. So that's their source of water, is to go down here, and that means that we should have like a road down here. So I need to go in here and change that one, and then we need to create a trail here. Now I need to go in here and just take, and then I should just go lighten, and I do this, and no, hang on a second. What the heck? No. And I change to 15, and then I just go in here and lighten it up a little bit there. When I paint lighten, you see I can paint with white color and the texture is still there. So I can basically just lighten it up, and instead of just being white, it actually keeps the differences, the original texture. I just make it brighter, which is actually kind of that was a real good point. So now I just need to go back to paint normal and go back up there, choose black again. So yep. So now so they go down, most of the village people that live here, they go down there and get their water. So yeah. Most of the trees here have been cleared up. There's only a few down by the, and this land here didn't have that much. They've been cleared a long time ago. I take that most of the trees were cut down back in old Flan times. That's when most of them were cut down. And also there's been dry and cold spells on and off. So the climate, and it's not super fertile and it's semi-dry, so it's not super forested ever, so to speak. But it's been cut down over the years. So it's more up in the hills that are more trees, but down here where it's easy to cut them down, they cut them down for using for timber and stuff over the years, over the millennia, so to speak, the couple of thousand years or something like that, or 5,000 or something, that people have lived here that chop down trees.
I do not like that. Let's take that out of there. I like the crooked roof.
Now it's time to save, and
let's see.
We're done an hour and 45 minutes, so this
I could go
great.
for like 5 hours easy, no problem. Once I get busy working on something, I have nothing that's going to stop me.
Yep, this is great. Yep.
We're going to cheat. We're going to take this.
So that was the basic.
Now, let's see, what else do we have?
Now I just need to look into the tannery down here. So let's get the tannery done. And the tannery is basically built as a U shape here, as a courtyard. So I'm going to first block that one, and now it's time to open up the sketch one here. And first I'm going to that will work. There we go. And now it's time to, I'm going to open up here sketch. Come on, is that not on the sketch layer? Ah, there we have the problem. I painted on the wrong layer, I think, but I'm not really sure. So okay, so here we go. So I'm going to block that one, and I'm going to hide it, and first I'm going to clean up this mess here.
Open up Pixel Bridge. I'm gonna see if I can find some kind of decoration to hide that seam on top of the roof. I'm opening what's called Quixel Bridge. It's also run by Unreal. That is a repository of about 13,200 assets that you can use for free. So,
Okay, yeah.
whoops, can't spell. Let's see, what could we find?
Paint over the floor here so I get rid of some of these black areas. I can paint over walls that are a bit more. I can. There we go.
Since it's a shepherd's hut, why don't we try for that? Haha, there we go. We'll put a ram's head up on the end of his thing.
Cool.
Just something different to put on the end of the item. Okay, download. And the way this is set up, and when you install this, is you sign into your Epic account and it automatically downloads it to your computer, which is not necessarily needed once it adds it to your project.
Yeah.
So you can delete the actual 3D thing once you add it to your project.
Okay.
So
yeah, Quantum Weasel, that's a great question. I've already started, so we should definitely schedule a Zoom session or some sort of video chat or something very, very soon, so we can start getting your stuff underway too. So I've talked to 2 already, and we have them underway, and I hope that I can get everyone that signed up started within a week, 10 days, something like that. And so we can kind of figure out what we want to do together, and so I can get started and work our way in. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. Now,
for some reason, it doesn't want to download. Why are you not wanting me to download you? Try again. Try searching again. All right. I'm going to save you so I don't have to keep looking it up.
Perfect. Thank you. Yep. So I'll get back to you very, very soon. Yep. Gribbly, yes, I think you should be able to. I don't think I have any stops, so please go ahead. Yep. Okay, now I need to put like a little gate across here, and there we go.
All right.
Oh,
now bring up my content. Mega scans, 3D. Now the trick is to find Ram Skull. There it is.
I'm going to add that to my viewing list.
Here we have the guest bedroom, which.
There we go. And save to watch later. Thank you, Gribbly. That's awesome. Okay, so now we need to have. I need to first have that opened up. So we need to put in a boardwalk here.
All right, that's way too small. So let's scale it up.
So I'm going to basically turn this whole section
Actually,
here.
hang on. Where's my mannequin?
And here, basically this bit here, I'm going to turn that into that into a boardwalk here.
I gotta show you guys my fancy dancy measuring stick.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yep. My mannequin's about 6 feet tall. So when I stand them shoulder on shoulder, they're about 5 feet tall. So this is a 25-foot marker,
So
which
yeah, so you
it,
have like two mannequins is one floor, or
one mannequin or two mannequins together, if you cut off the top mannequin's head, is about 10 feet.
okay,
So
that's about one
since
floor, yeah.
Yeah, since RPGs run in feet
Mm-hmm.
and Unreal runs in meters, I
Yeah,
had to figure out a quick way to do it.
yeah,
I know there's measuring tools that are built in here, but I think this is much more fun
yeah.
to do mannequins stacked on top of each other and
Mm-hmm.
manipulate them, lay them down, stand them up.
Yeah.
And that way I don't have to dig out the measuring tool all the time. It's kind of annoying when I have to do that. So, and that is actually about the right height, right size. But you know what? We're going to make it a gigantic one, or not giant, but a little bit bigger than that.
Yep.
He's going to be an exceptional ram. I just want to try and disguise this split in the boards up here a little bit.
Yep. So here we have the board boardwalk there. So there we go. Now I'm going to increase the opacity a bit here and increase a bit more, and then basically add. So this is a wall here. So this section here is basically outside, except for here should be kind of built in here a bit. I have like this part here.
There. Now from the ground,
Kind of built in. So
you'll never see that it's a big split. Duplicate it. We'll throw it on the other end.
Yep.
Oops. 180 degrees. And you'll see if you ever start looking at 3D assets and STL files for 3D printing, anything like that, you'll see what's called low poly and high poly. Low poly is what I call cartoonish, because it's very, very simply modeled. There's very few faces to it. There's very few quads, tris, blah, blah. But when you get to high quality or high poly, which this is, you run into a lot of usage issues if you try to do things like running it in a lower end computer and that kind of thing. So, all right. Not quite exactly what I want, but it'll work for now. I'll probably tweak it later. But it looks kind of cool having a little ram skull on there, since it is a shepherd's hut.
Yeah.
And my roof is not quite fitting here. All right, so I gotta grab everything here.
So, and now it's time to save again. Okay, so now we have about 5 minutes left, so I'm going to, any questions or ideas for things that we should do differently or do in the future and stuff? I'm going to post links and stuff to my Patreon and website and stuff in chat here, so let's see here. Here we go. I need to copy it out too. There we go. There we go. The links.
And in case anybody is wondering, I do have a YouTube channel also. It's called Steel Valkyrie Gaming. It's STEEL. I don't have much up on there because I took a long break from putting any content up, but I'm starting to put more and more up there all the time. So
Mhm.
if you guys are interested, I'm going to be putting Unreal Engine stuff on there in
Yeah.
the next couple weeks. So, um, like I
Cool.
said, though, it's going to take me a while to get up and running on this again because I had to take a long break because I burned myself out
Yeah.
really, really fast. Oh, just a hair. And
And it's good we haven't. Well, we had a few dropped frames. I have, but we're still green, so we're good. So yep.
well,
Well,
that's good.
thank you, Master Cycle. Yep. Or Mystery Cycle. Yep. Sorry.
Uh, X. Bam. There we go. All right. Hopefully you guys like this a little bit. Just a quick shepherd's hut that I threw together. Um, and I have to make a fence and things for it. And I do have some of these models, the actual building of them, on my YouTube channel. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll see more of this if Anna lets me come back.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes, we need to do
Um,
this again. Yep.
yeah, because it gets really hard to talk to yourself for an hour or two
Oh
hours.
yeah,
So
it's tough. Having
and
people asking wonderful questions and coming with comments is good, but this is kind
yep,
of a low, slow. This is like slow watch TV, so it's like slow TV. So yeah, it's not that
yes,
action
and
filled. So yeah,
Mystery Cycle, I agree 100%. That is a much more visual measurement tool than a ruler.
yep,
Um, and for me, that was the easiest way to do the conversion. Because doing the meters to conversion, meters to feet conversion is about, I think it's 0.00348 is the conversion, and taking everything
it's like
times that. And
3 feet per meter. That's but even that
yeah,
gets
yep,
clunky over time, so to speak.
right. And Unreal works in meters only.
Yeah,
It's one of those things that it's hard to make the conversion for every piece you're putting in to make that conversion.
yep.
So it's easier to do it this way. And then, like, this house here is too big compared to this little guy. You can tell by if I drag him over to the door here real quick, it's way too tall for him. So once I get it modeled, I'll make it into what's called a blueprint that I can just use this model over and over and over again. And then I'll scale it down when I actually put it in the world. So it'll be down to about 0.625 is the actual size that I get it down to.
Yeah.
But I got a little bunch of little things I want to do with it, like fix these little missing pieces of wood and add some decoration to it, and so it matches the other sizes. But yeah, that's what I work on in my free time. Like I said, when I don't do Fantasy Grounds, I'm doing this. And this is one of the models that I modeled in Blender. Um, super, super simple. Took me about 20 minutes to do. And then I just pasted a door on the back of it so they can get in and out,
Mm-hmm.
which was part of the pack you've seen me using tonight.
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
but super simple. And I needed a tower that was 30 feet tall and had some arrow slits in it. So I said, okay, measured it.
Yep.
But I got to show them before we end. I got to show them my blacksmith. This
Oh
is like
yes. Oh, that's
my
the
favorite
crowning.
model I've done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's so cool.
I built the little shed. Then I found a lean-to that I found, and I put that on there. And then I modeled everything in here except for the little accoutrements that are scattered around was modeled by me. This is a concrete debris that I downloaded from Megascans. I got the bellows from Megascans, the anvil, the bucket, all those things are there. But I had to figure out how to put it all together and get it to fit underneath here. And then this whole contraption here that runs the bellows, I had to model. And I modeled it within Unreal. I didn't do it in Blender. So, but I think it turned out pretty darn cool. I like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then when I get to the point of the finishing touches, I'm going to make the coals glow orange once I get it done, so that it looks like the forge is actually hot, and put the windows in, and get all this little stuff done. But you have to just keep posting, keep watching the videos and stuff, and we'll see if we can get this finished up. And then I'm going to toss it to Wolfgang and say, "What do you think?" and see what he says. Last time he says, "When can I have it?" was the last time he said he saw something. So, but we'll see. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Anna, I had a wonderful time. I always have a great time talking with you.
Oh,
So,
same. This is yeah, it's fun, and it was a bit. This is for I need to do a lot of the mapping for the virtual Greyhawk cons. We get
hmm
a lot of stuff done for the campaign and
and
stuff,
that comes up when again? Virtual Greyhawk?
it's the end of September, so it's the
End of
yeah,
September.
so
Okay.
2 weeks from now. Yep.
You guys are very welcome. I had a great time. And I just jokingly suggested to Anna one night, I said, well, if you can't get anybody, just give me a holler. I'll jump on with you. So
Well, yeah,
she said,
this is good.
let's do
Yep.
it. So,
Yep, we should definitely come back and do this more often. And I work on other 3D stuff and so on, and I should ramp
mhm.
it up. This is my first large map that I do dungeon map and stuff. So I'm still finding my way, and now I'm starting to be underway. So I will be soon be dangerous in Photoshop doing this quick, and it's quick and dirty. It's not supposed to
Mhm.
be super fancy, professional, whatever. It's so I can map everything in the campaign and get it
But
accurately done. So yeah.
like I told you last night, with that style of mapping, it draws your eyes to the battle map portion of
Yeah,
it,
and
but it gives you an overland view of what you're surrounded with.
yep. So I'm
So,
so there will
mhm.
be yeah different levels and stuff. So and I'm almost done with the first levels. I will keep stacking it up, so to speak. And it was kind of difficult to define things, and so it will be. I will probably have a few more days, like 3 days or something like that. Then I'm done with this map, and then I can move on to other stuff.
Mhm.
Yep.
And my project here is probably going to take me a month or more yet to get it finished up
Mm-hmm.
because in between everything is when I work on it.
Cool.
So,
Yep.
and I am currently working on Toma Beast 3 and Toma Beast 3 layers for Kobold. I can't share any of that because of NDA, but you guys will find it soon enough.
Yep.
So, I'm gonna save everything final here.
Yep.
And then whenever you're ready, Anna, I will catch everybody later. Hopefully I can come back again soon.
Yeah.
So,
Wonderful. We see
mhm.
you guys next week.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Yep.
Night, everybody.